Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. This time I'm gonna give a talk, my thoughts about one particular subject. As you see, no cello, so there will be no cello daily exercise, nothing, no tips or tricks. Actually I'm gonna give you kind of a strategy also. But okay, so the point, what I want to talk about today is I had a nice little chat with another cellist from New York City, and we were talking about basics, technique and stuff, how it's very important. By the way, you can always check my cello daily exercises right here up. It's gonna appear right now, yeah. If you want to improve your technique and your left hand, right hand, and so on. So today's subject, what I'm gonna talk about is that I see many students. I was giving master classes in Brazil and in Europe, and I saw so many talented people. It's unbelievable how many talented cellists there are nowadays. I get really impressed. But it's not only about talent. It's also about structure of your practice routine. What do I mean with that is that I see many people, they come with big repertoire. Like, for instance, I'm a cellist, so they come with Dvorak cello concerto, Haydn cello concerto, D major, Prokofiev Sinfonia concertante, Kodali cello solo sonata. Great, this is all amazing repertoire, and we all want to play that. But for this, it requires some technique, it requires, a very strong basis, a very strong base. So what's the problem here? I experienced with some teachers, not my teachers, but other teachers, that they give their students, very tough programs, like, all right, from now on you're gonna play Kodali sonata. Great, but what about if the student has a lack of basics and starts to play the Kodali sonata? It's a very hard sonata, and you can't play this if you don't have enough technique or the strong base, what I was mentioning before. And then what happens? So okay, the student practices it. He practices it and fine, okay, he plays it, but then he gets lost. He gets lost in his studies. He doesn't know how to work on particular passages. For instance, this third movement of the Kodali is insane. So, like, if you don't have a strong basis, how can you play it? Not even mentioning it. If you don't have the technique, how can you play music? Because if you have the technique, then you don't have to worry about technique and you can work on music. And this is the most important. We play music, right? And we can do only this if we have a strong base. So this is what I want to talk about, and I'm gonna talk about my own experience, what I had in my own life. So as I mentioned in another video, I was studying with Hans Mannes. He's a Belgian cellist. He's a great teacher. He's fantastic. He really changed my life in many things, and especially in cello playing, and also in the structure and the way of practicing and stuff. So let me talk about this experience of mine. So what happened? I was around 15 years old, and I came for the first time to him. By the way, he comes from the French old school. He studied with Maurice Gendron and Pierre Fournier, so it's really, a tough school, but a great school. So I came to him, and I played for him Arpeggione Sonata at the age of 15, right? I mean, Schubert Arpeggione Sonata, it's very difficult also, especially musically, this is insane. And technically also it demands really a lot. And until nowadays, I find this really difficult to play. Anyways, I played for him the Arpeggione Sonata. Fine, I played. He was there sitting, like this, and I was like, you're a very talented boy, you're very musical and stuff, but there is always the but you need a stronger basis. You need, to have the control of everything, you need to master your instrument, your cello or the violin, viola. It's for any instrument that this applies. Fine. I was like, okay, fine, yes. So what can we do about it? So we started to have a plan. So like always, you know, when you have something in mind, when you want to reach this goal, you need to have a plan. That's with everything like this. And the same with cello playing, violin playing, and so on. So he said to me that time that, yeah, no, you don't have enough technique and stuff. And I was, yeah, of course, you know, 15 years old boy. And yeah, I was a bit disappointed because I wanted to impress. And no, I kind of impressed, of course, because playing arpeggione sonata of Schubert at the age of 15, it's, yeah, I mean, but okay, it was more or less, you know. So what did he do with me? So I studied with him the whole year long before I went to study in Salzburg in 2007. And he told me that, you know, Ilya, I'm gonna give you right now only technique, only etudes, scales, arpeggios, double stops, only technique for a whole year. Right, you heard that, for a whole year. It's, but I tell you, it's really rewarding, because nowadays I feel really comfortable. Anything that I play, you know, I feel really, not really in the matter of saying like, I can play like this, you know, sleeping. Not really also, you know, of course you have to practice and work hard for everything. But that's the thing. You need to have a plan, and you need to have a good structure of a repertoire. So it doesn't mean, you know, you start to play the cello, let's say 3 years ago, and then you go straight to Haydn concerto. No, it doesn't work like this, and it won't work. And you will have difficulties, and then you will lose motivation. And unfortunately, you know, when you lose motivation, then, you know, everything goes down, because motivation is everything. When you have the motivation, this is such a boost, you know, to your success as a cellist, and most important, as a musician, as an artist. So Hans Mannes, my teacher, he gave me all the 40 Popper etudes. You heard that right. I did all of them, all the 40s. So how did it work? So after the first lesson with arpeggione, fine, he said to me, all right, Ilya, now we're gonna do like this. You have some technique, of course, so you don't have to go, you know, back to the Suzuki school or this other methods and stuff. Let's do like this. You're gonna do all the 40 poppers, and I was already like this, watching him. He said, next week I want that you play etude number 1 until number 10. So 10 etudes in 1 week. Of course, it didn't have to be on the competition level, on the highest level, right? But it had to, but it was, you know, to work on mobility, you know, to be flexible, to be fast, you know, to react very quickly. So okay, I did from number 1 until number 10. So I came to the next lesson, I played, it was fine, you know. He said, okay, you did a good job. Now you go from number 11 until number 20. Okay, from number 11 on number 20, there are some difficult etudes in between, like the number 13, number 14 also, I think, is the staccato one. It's difficult, so not always I played everything great, or, you know, at least good. So he said to me, no, this etude was not good, so you're gonna restart the 11 until number 20. So I restarted again, and really searching, you know, everything. And then the next lesson I came with these etudes from 11 until 20 was fine. The same was happening from number 21 until number 30, and the same was from 31 until number 40. I had to repeat this for 3 weeks, the 31 until 40, because there was this number 33, that is this, I wasn't able to play this, you know, immediately, so I had to repeat as many times. Fine, I finished them all. It was around 2 months I worked on Popper. 2 months, all of them. No competition level, but yeah, on a very reasonable level, you know, so that, you know, you're satisfied. This is the most important, that you're satisfied with your result. Fine, when the Poppers finished, he gave me the cello concertos, but not the big ones. He gave me the technique cello concertos, so that means Golterman, Davidov, which else helped me, please? Romberg, of course, yeah, he was a big fan of Romberg. So I started to do these ones. I started with Romberg number 4 and number 9, if I remember well, because Romberg is excellent, you know, for upper positions and especially for the pink one. And so I did Romberg, Davidov, the same way as the Popper etudes. Yes, and bit by bit, you know, I started to feel, you know, stronger fingers, you know, a better technique, a stronger basis. I started to feel results, you know, and yeah, I started to be motivated. I was practicing 6 hours per day, 7 hours per day. It was crazy. It was a crazy year. And yeah, after the Romberg, he gave me Davidov, the Allegro de Concert. No, sorry, first the second concerto, which is an excellent, beautiful concerto. And I suggest, you know, to you all, I mean, for those that want to improve their technique, please do this concerto. Davidov number 2. There's a great recording of Daniel Shafran on YouTube. You can find it easily. It's a beautiful concerto, and I always give it to all my students. Davidov number 2 is excellent. And so I did these concertos, and fine. And then some other caprices like Piatti, but I did not do all of them. And Servet, it's also a great composer, you know, great cello exercises, cello caprices, and he wrote also very nice cello works in general. Very good for technique, and they are very fun to play musically as well. Fine, when this was all finished, the technique session, so this is already after almost 1 year, then only I started with Saint-Saëns concerto. You might think, oh, but Saint-Saëns, it's a student concerto. Well, you know what? You're wrong. I find Saint-Saëns an excellent concerto, and besides, Saint-Saëns also is the bridge, you know, it's the bridge that goes to the big repertoire. So when I played the Saint-Saëns concerto already with a strong level of cello playing, I played Saint-Saëns good. I played this, you know, on competitions and concerts, and when I was listening to the recordings, you know, I was comparing myself, you know, the year before I started with my teacher, and then after 1 year, and the progress was really huge. It was really huge, and everybody around me was like, wow, you became really like, wow, so strong, congratulations. And of course, you know, this kind of gave me hope, you know, like, great, you know, so there is still something that I can do, you know, with my cello. Great, because before I was not really motivated, and this is a problem, you know, that many students, as I said before, they go down, and this is a problem, unfortunately. So then after the Saint-Saëns, I started to practice Haydn concerto, the C major, because the C major, this is a concerto that everybody has to do it, but everybody, because it's also technically very challenging, and you know, you work on the style, you know, of the classicism. So this is what I wanted to say about my experience. So this I wanted to share with you, that yes, you see my videos, they are very technical, you know, I do these exercises, boring exercises, but they're extremely important, and I promise you, if you do them, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, my videos or something, but let's say, okay, and that I was young, of course, I was 15, 16, so of course I was lucky, you know, to have learned that earlier. But let's say if you are older, no problem. If you have still basic problems, no worries. You know, for everything there is a solution, and I always believed in this sentence: nothing is impossible. So you can do that. Let's say you're playing Dvorak and you have a lack of technique or lack of bass. You know, make a practice routine, make a schedule. Like, of course, some of you might, you know, work or might have concerts, you know, or might have families, so you don't have a lot of time, but try, you know, at least, you know, every day, but every single day, discipline, technique, you know, so you wake up, first thing you do, you play a scale, you do arpeggios, then you do the double stops, you know, the terts, sexth, octave, decimas, you know, all of these. Do at least in 1 week. Okay, I did 10, maybe it's too much, but you don't have to do that. You can, of course. I mean, if you want to do this challenge, go ahead, great. But 2 etudes, it's 2 or 3 etudes, it's more than enough. If you have already an advanced technique, pauper will be fine. If not, go back to the dot sauer, or there are other methods, you know, great. Feuillard is excellent. It's excellent, and I'm showing this in this cello daily exercises a few times. The Feuillard daily exercises, which are great for left-handed development. So please, folks, I beg you, if you want, you know, to play the big repertoire, go ahead, but don't forget that technique comes first. If you want to make music, you need to have the technique and the basics. Once you have that, you're gonna feel really comfortable, and then you can work on the music, because if you work, you know, on Dvorak concerto with, you know, lack of basics, you're there trying to find intonation, you know, like or the coordination or the sound, and you will lose a lot of time. I know it's boring. You need to be very patient. Nothing in life you get easy. You have to work for it. You need to work for it. You need to spare a little time for it. And this is what I can suggest you. This is what I'm talking about, and it's very important, this. And because as I said before, it's very pity, you know, to see talented people, you know, going down, you know, their mindset goes down because they feel insecure, or when they want to do orchestra auditions or international solo competitions, you know, it doesn't work out, and then they get frustrated, and then they think, is the cello something for me or not? You know, they start, you know, to question themselves, and it's never good to question yourself, you know. Don't put too much in your mind. Just do it. Take this cello, take a book of Feuillard or any method, etudes, work, and you're gonna be fine, definitely. Totally. No, seriously, because if I can do it, why you can't do it? I'm not better than anyone, nobody is better than me. So you see, this is in this video that I wanted to talk about, and also not to forget, as I have a lot of Brazilian followers, I have this video subtitled in Portuguese, so it's gonna be easier for you Brazilian people to check this out also, because this is very important information, and I'm sure this can help you a lot, and you can grow a lot as a musician. So guys, I know I talked too much again, but I think this is very important information that I'm passing to you, and not every teacher or coach is passing this to their students, because unfortunately in the music schools or in the conservatoire, you know, you get only 1 hour per week a lesson. This is not enough, 1 hour per week. So, I mean, what do you do in 1 hour? You come, you open the cello. Yeah, hi teacher, hi professor, how are you? Yes, I'm fine student, how are you? You lose already 5 minutes until you tuned, 10 minutes passed, and then you have only 50 minutes left, you know. So, and they don't go really into detail. Not everybody, of course. There are teachers that they are very seriously about this. So, but this is what I wanted to talk with you today. So, sorry again for talking a lot, and thank you for watching until the end, and I see you in the next video. Bye.